Welcome back to Red Tape Green Earth, the podcast where we talk about the intersection of government and environmental issues and how we are transforming our future. I'm Blair Broussard, broadcasting from Baton Rouge. Yes, Baton Rouge, thriving and stronger than ever. Today I'm honored to be joined by Dr. Addison LeBlanc, a leading expert from the Louisiana Watershed Initiative. Dr. LeBlanc, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me, Blair. It's so great to be here, and even greater to see Baton Rouge as it is today.
I still remember the 2016 flood. 18 inches of rain in just 2 days, over 50,000 homes underwater. No electricity for 3 weeks, and back then it felt hopeless. But somehow, in just a few decades, we turned it around. Addison, walk us through how did Louisiana go from a constant flood risk to one of the most resilient places in the world?
Well, it started with a hard look in the mirror around 2025. After years of slow progress, with only 5 out of 131 Watershed Initiative projects completed, three major shifts changed everything.
All right, I'm ready. Give me the top three.
First, we massively sped up the Louisiana Watershed Initiative projects. We took that $995 million from the federal government and we prioritized smart and science backed investments. By 2035, over 120 of the originally planned 131 projects were complete, a big jump from the only 5 that we had in 2025.
And those projects weren't just pretty, they literally caught the floods before they reached us.
Exactly. Second, we implemented a statewide drainage model. This wasn't just guesswork anymore. We developed hydrologic and hydraulic models covering every watershed in Louisiana. We factored in pluvial flooding from rainfall and fluvial flooding from rivers. It meant accurate real time flood maps. There's no more people building homes based on outdated zones that didn't match reality.
I can't tell you how many people and contractors back in the 2010s trusted those old maps and paid the price.
And third, maybe the hardest cultural shift, we tackled the problem head on. Louisiana started enforcing strict regulations against developers who built irresponsibly. Greedy practices were replaced by incentives for companies that invested in flood resistant and sustainable construction. Contractors, architects, engineers, they all started thinking watershed first.
The results speak for themselves. Now, most homes are built on flood resilient foundations with raised designs, permeable landscaping, and smart drainage systems. Entire communities have shifted slightly inland or to higher ground, and people aren't living one storm away from disaster anymore.
That's right. We've largely subdued pluvial and fluvial events in major urban areas. Of course, we still respect the power of nature, but today, Louisiana lives with water, not against it.
I gotta ask, people outside the state sometimes say, why didn't this happen sooner? What finally pushed us to act?
I think it was the perfect storm. No pun intended. By 2025, the science was undeniable. The economic costs were devastating. And honestly, it became an ethical issue. It wasn't just bad businesses, it was putting our lives and the community's lives in danger.
That's an amazing point. And before we wrap up, what message would you leave for future generations listening to this podcast?
Simple. Listen to the land. Work with your watershed and not against it. Build not just for today, but for a Louisiana 50, 100, even 200 years from now.
Wow. Dr. LeBlanc, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, listeners, for being part of the story of hope, resilience, and renewal. Until next time, keep building smarter and keep Louisiana strong.